Buzzer TV presents vintage game shows on Amazon.
Bet it big. Bet it bold. Your cards can win a pot of gold on Card Shark. And here's the host of Card Shark, Jim Perry.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Welcome to Card Sharks. We have a brand new champion, and we're going to be meeting a challenger to meet her right after we open the board and get to the cards. Dennis and Ann, if you will, start loading in the cards. Two brand new decks while we meet our players on Card Sharks. Hello, Debbie Lippy. How are you, Debbie?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
Good. Won't you remind us again about yourself?
Well, I'm 19 years old, and I live in Orange County. I miss Orange County. I go to San Diego State University, where I miss East San Diego.
That's nice. Isn't that nice? Our own little beauty contest winner.
Sure.
You're doing very well in the game now. Congratulations. You've won $1,400 already. Got fingers crossed? All right, let's meet a new challenger for you. This is Scott Strickland. Hello, Scott. Welcome to Card Shark.
Good to be here.
Please tell us about yourself.
Yes, well, I live in Norfolk, Virginia. I'm 24 years old. I've been married for 2 wonderful years, and I'm a carpenter, which I've been doing for 7 years. And this summer, I decided it was time for a nice vacation, so I came to California for a month.
That's
with
true.
my wife.
And they told, but how did you get on the show? They said.
Well, I came here, and here I was on the East Coast, you know, and I didn't know if the shows were for real. So here I went out to the show, and here I am.
You just knocked on the door and said, I'd like to be on, and here you are.
It was so much easier than I thought it would be.
Well, that's what we keep telling people. Good to have you here, Scott.
Nice to be here, Jim.
You sound like the president, you know that? Good luck in the match.
Thank you.
Each player has their own deck of 52 playing cards. They're shuffled and cut before going on the air. And our champion, Debbie, will play the red cards on the top. Scott will play the lower cards, the blue cards, and the object of the game, players, is to work your way across the board, predicting whether each card is higher or lower than the one that precedes it. Before you can begin calling high-low on the cards, however, you have to answer a high-low toss-up question. And they're all based on a poll of 100 people. They test your ability to judge human nature. And here comes little G2T2 with a question for you, Debbie. We polled 100 married men across the country. We asked them, which of these 2 books would you rather have your wife read and study? The Joy of Cooking or The Joy of Sex? How many men said they'd rather have their wife read The Joy of Sex?
That's a tough one. Okay, I think, just to be safe, 50%.
You go right up the middle.
50.
She says that 50 out of 100 men would rather have their wife read The Joy of Sex.
Jim, being a married man and knowing about sex and cooking, I definitely have to go higher.
You say higher.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Well, if it is higher, you go to the board first. If not, it'll be Debbie. You got a lot of agreement with the audience here, and I'll find out as you do. The actual number of men who would rather have their wife read The Joy of Sex is 67.
All right. Good.
Scott, we'll take a look at your base card. Now, you won the high-low toss-up question, so you have the right to change it if you'd like. You're starting with a jack. You want to play it?
That's a tough decision, but it's still a good card, and I'm going to call the next card lower.
And remember, if it's another jack you lose, it must be lower than a jack. Lower than a jack?
Come on.
It's a 5. Now, Scott, you can freeze at any time. Remember, if you continue and make a mistake, you lose all the cards, and Debbie gets a free chance at hers.
No, let's go one more time, Jim, and call it higher.
Higher than a 5.
Come on, card.
It is higher. It's an 8.
I have to freeze in, Jim. Let's
right
freeze.
there. We'll move the freeze bar over, and you've kept Debbie away from her cards. Always a good piece of strategy. Scott, the question to you. Our man on the street knocked on the door of 100 houses in Beverly Hills, California, and asked the residents, now you know Beverly Hills, all the people that live there, everyone's familiar with that. Yeah. We asked those residents, do you live next door to a television or movie star? How many Beverly Hills residents said yes, they did? Tough one.
Oh, I don't know. That's hard to say. Living next to a television, I would say 30 of them say they live
He
next
says
to it.
30 live next door to a television or movie star in Beverly
That's
Hills.
another tough one. I think that Beverly Hills is a pretty big place. I'd say less.
You say lower. The actual number of Beverly Hills residents who live next door to a television or movie star is 21. It's lower. Debbie. Yeah. Debbie, your base card is a jack again.
Okay, I'm going to go lower with that, Jim.
You're going to what?
Lower.
You're going to go lower than a jack. And you are going lower than a jack with a 9.
Okay. I'm going to play my chances and go lower.
Going to continue lower than a 9. No, it's a queen. Not lower. You lose both of those cards. Scott, you didn't win the question, so you can't change the 8. Call this card.
That's right in the middle. That's a tough decision. Let's call it lower.
You say lower.
Lower.
Lower?
Lower.
Lower than an 8. No, the king. It's not lower. Janice will fill in the spaces there with the next cards off the top of the deck. Debbie, we asked 100 married men, did you make love to your wife on your wedding night? How many men admitted they did not?
Well, seeing what honeymoons are supposed to be, I would say 5.
5. 5 did not make love on the wedding night. Scott?
She put me in a spot, but I think it'd be very seldom anybody leaves that out on a wedding night. So let's call it lower.
You say even lower than that?
Lower.
All right. I don't know if that's wishful thinking or a good answer. The actual number of men who did not make love to their wives on the wedding night is 17. It's not lower. There must have been a great movie on television that night. 17. Debbie.
Okay, I'm going to go lower.
You're going to keep the jack and go lower? It is an 8. It's not lower. Scott again, play off the 8.
That's a tough card. Let's call it higher this time.
This time you'll try higher.
Higher.
And it is no. This time it's lower. You just called them backwards there, Scott. And we have a very interesting board now. Debbie needs 4 cards. Scott needs 2. We're at the 4th and final question. It's sudden death. Someone has to win on this play of the cards. Scott, we asked 100 California men, do you have the same first name as your father? How many men said yes?
Boy, there's some tough questions. I think that's gone out, really, and nobody does that anymore as much. So I would have to say 45 men.
45.
45
says,
men.
have the same name as their father, same first name. Higher or lower, Debbie?
Oh, I know my dad and brother have the same name, but still, I agree. I think it's more or less fading out. I'm going to go lower.
Lower than that. The actual number of men with the same first name as their father is 10. Very much lower, Debbie. Now, Debbie, listen carefully. Here's how we play sudden death. You have a jack. You won the question. You have the right to change it if you'd like. You could try to turn over all 4 of these cards, but if you make a mistake, Scott wins the game. However, you have control. You can force Scott to play off that 8. He's tried twice and failed off that 8. If he makes a mistake on either one of these 2 cards, the game is yours. Your decision, Debbie. Do you want to play it or pass it?
I'm going to let Scott do it for me.
You're going to let Scott do it. All right, Scott. If you can turn these 2 over, you've won the first game in our best 2 out of 3 match. 1 mistake and Debbie wins. Call this card.
All right. Let's go with it higher this time. Again.
Higher than an 8. No, he couldn't do it. It is lower, and Debbie wins the first game of the match. Good win, Debbie. $100 to the champions. Scott has to make a comeback. Right after we take time out for this commercial message, please watch. And Janice will clear the board. All right, Scott, that 8 3 times in a row could not
Really?
call that card right. So, yes?
Let's try another game.
Okay, that's what we'll do. We'll load in the cards right now. With the same 2 decks of cards, these are the cards right off the top of the deck, and we will start with a question to you, Debbie. We asked 100 expectant fathers. I don't understand that, but they were expectant. Yeah. Would you be happy if you learned your wife was going to have triplets? How many men said yes? Yes. Yes.
I think that's going to be very low. Because usually the first child, you're not too financially situated yet. Okay.
Oh, we didn't say it was the first child. We just said 100 expectant fathers.
I'd still say 10.
10. She says 10 out of 100 would be happy if they were having triplets. Higher or lower?
I don't know. I think a man, when he's getting children to come in, he doesn't care how many, as long as they're healthy. And so I'll have to say higher than 10.
You say higher than that?
Higher than 10 would be happy. They'd be thrilled.
You have any children, Scott?
No, not yet.
Oh, I see.
Working on it.
The actual number of expectant fathers who would be happy to have triplets is 33. It's higher, Scott. That was a big surprise to me. I didn't expect that. Scott, we'll take a look at your base card. You've got a 6. Do you want to play it?
That's a good card. I'm going to go ahead and play it. Let's say it's higher.
Higher than a 6.
Come on.
No, it's a 2. Cards keep failing you, Scott. Debbie, you're playing with a 5. Call this one.
Okay, I'm going to go higher.
Higher than a 5. And a 4. You could not advance. Second question to you, Scott. We asked 100 women in a previous studio audience. Now think very carefully. Have you told a lie today? How many women said yes, they had?
Women. Let's see. Not many women tell that many lies. That's kind of a medium, especially just on that one day. I know the other days it builds up a lot.
Of course, yeah, that day, yes.
Let's say 30 of them told a lie.
30 of them.
30 women.
30 women told a lie that day.
Being a woman myself, I know how devious we can be. I'm going to go higher.
You can say higher than that. The actual number of women who told a lie that day is 24. No, it's not higher, Scott. Still want to play the 6?
No, let's change it this time.
See if we can get a better card. It's a queen.
Right. Good card.
Change.
Good card. We're going to say the next card is lower.
Lower than a queen. Oh, no, it's an ace. Scott Strickland, you and those cards do not get along.
Yep.
Debbie, call this card.
Okay, let's try higher.
Higher than a 5. It's a 10.
Let's go lower.
Lower than a 10. It's a 9.
I'm going to freeze.
Now she'll freeze. She'll freeze it right there, needing 2 cards, and we go to question 3. Debbie, we asked 100 high school teachers. As far as you know, we have some high school students in the audience tonight. Listen to this one. We asked 100 high school teachers, as far as you know, do your students have a nasty nickname for you? How many teachers said yes?
All my high school teachers are pretty nice, except one woman we call the bearded lady.
The bearded lady.
I'm going to say 30.
You say 30.
Yeah.
She says that 30 out of 100 say that they think their students have a nasty nickname. Higher or lower?
I'm sure they would have to know that kids have some kind of name for them, so I would have to say higher.
Higher than that.
30. Yeah.
And all the youngsters agree with you on that.
Yeah.
The bearded lady, huh? The actual number of high school teachers who were called a nasty nickname by their students is 20. It's not higher, Debbie. Wow. Surprise. First, they may not know their students very well. We'll change that to a 10.
Okay, let's go low.
Lower than a 10. It's a 9. 1 card to go, but you're around that middle. What are you going to do?
Okay, I want to go low again.
You're going to go for it.
For the
If this
game.
is lower than a 9, you have won the championship. You'll go on to play the money cards. Lower than a 9, it's a 3. She did it. Winning the second match. Debbie, congratulations. Good win. Scott, I've never seen anyone have such bad luck with a card.
Bad today.
But we have some nice parting gifts for you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks for being here, Scott. Debbie, come on down here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You going to play the money card?
Oh, I bet you bet I am.
Right after we take time out for this commercial message. Good. Here I am with Miss Orange County and Miss San Diego, and I'm enjoying it, friends, I must tell you. Good luck in the money cards, Deb.
Thank you very much.
Let's tear it up. Let's go open the board and get to the money cards. Come on over. All right, Debbie, you won $200 in the game. That's yours to keep now. We're going to give you new money to play with, and this time you're going to bet that money. Starting on the bottom line with $200. Bet that on these 3 cards. When you move up to the second level, we add another $200 of betting money, and again, it's your decision how you bet it. Minimum bets are $50 until you get to that top card, that big bet, and there you've got to bet at least half your money. You're not nervous now, are you?
Oh, not at all.
You just relax and just think
Okay,
about it,
okay.
and you do your best, and you'll do well. Here's $200.
Okay.
And as in the game, a choice of 2 base cards. See if we can start you off well with this. It's a jack.
I'm going to keep
bad.
that.
Want to play it?
I'm going to go lower.
All right, you got $200 with the jack. What's your bet?
$200.
Whole thing, right away. All right. Remember, as in the game, if it's another jack, you must be lower. $200 lower than a jack.
Oh.
Yeah, you did it. 6. $400
Okay.
and a 6.
I'm going to go 100 higher.
$100 higher than a 6. No, it's a 2. Not a bad trade, though. You got a great card.
I'm
and
going to
you got
give it all
300.
higher.
Whole thing. $300. Higher than a 2. It's a 7. You're up to $600, Debbie. Now we're going to take that 7. Hold on a second, and we'll give you the other $200. Now you've got $800. Take your time and think about it. You've got a 7. What do you want to bet here?
I'm going to go 100 higher.
$100. Higher than a 7. It's an ace. Oh, yeah. Now we're talking.
I'm going to
$900.
give it all lower.
Whole thing.
The whole thing.
$900 lower than an ace. It's a 10. $1,800 now, Debbie, with a 10.
Okay, I'm going to give 400 lower.
$400 lower than a 10. It's a 5. Okay.
Okay.
And I think I believe Debbie is up to 23 now, is she not? She had 18? Oh, you bet 4. I'm sorry, 22. Trying to give you more money there, Deb. You've got $500. Now, you got $2,200. You got a 5. You must bet at least 1,100. What's your big bet?
1,000 higher.
1,000. Now, you must bet 1,100. You want to bet the
1,100 higher.
Okay. That's why I said you must bet at least half. Half of it. 1,100 higher than a 5. Yeah! For $3,300 then. Way to go. Come on down here. That's terrific.
Oh, I don't believe it.
Now, what'd you say? You want some money now you can take off for the summer?
Oh, you know it.
Don't have to work, huh?
No working.
We'll meet a new challenger right after that. Good news. And we're back with Debbie Lipke, our champion. Folks like you, Deb. That's nice. You've
Great
got
feeling.
$4,900 now?
Yes.
What did you just say that you wanted to do with that now?
Well, I was planning on buying a car, but I just found out my dad bought one for me.
Oh, is it that nice? Why don't you buy one for him now?
Well, no, maybe I'll save it for the rules.
Good. You're thinking big, Dad. That's good. We'll load in the cards now for the next game, and there are 2 brand new decks of cards, and we'll meet our next challenger on Card Sharks. Come on out here. Jackie Davis. Hello, Jackie. Welcome.
Thank you.
Won't you tell us about yourself?
I teach high school English and theater arts, and we just finished a really terrific performance of The Hobbit, and we sold out the house at 100 seats for 3 nights, and that's grand where I teach.
That's fantastic. That must be very satisfying to work with youngsters like that.
Oh, it's terrific. It really is.
Are you working with some wonderful, talented kids who you think are going to make it on the stage someday?
Well, as a matter of fact, one of my students is going to be leaving on tour in July.
That's terrific.
So
You've got to
I'm
be
really
very,
happy.
very satisfied
Yes,
about that, Jack. Good to
I
have you
am.
here. You'll be playing the lower cards, the blue cards, while Debbie, our champion, plays the upper cards, the red cards. Debbie, the first question to you. We asked 100 women who have been married less than 6 months. Less than 6 months. Right now, are you pregnant? How many women said yes?
That's pretty quick for me. I'd say
That's pretty quick for anybody, Deb.
20.
20. 20 out of 100 were pregnant. 6 months married. Jackie, higher or lower?
I don't think that women are getting pregnant as soon anymore. I think women are pursuing careers, and I think it'll be a little lower than 20.
You say lower than that?
Yes.
The actual number of newlywed women who were pregnant already is 14. That's lower. Jackie, you start with a king. Good card.
It's going to be lower.
She's going to play it lower than a king.
Yes.
It's a 2. Very much lower.
Higher.
Higher than a 2. Oh, no. Another 2. Debbie, a break for you. And this card, a jack.
Oh, good. Okay, I'm going to go lower with that, Jim.
Lower than a jack. It's another 2.
I'm going to go higher.
Higher than a 2. Oh, big ace.
I'm going to go lower.
Continuing lower. It's at 8.
I'm going to freeze right there.
Freezing it right there, needing 1 card. And the next question to you, Jackie. We took a confidential poll of 100 men and asked them, be honest, are you a coward? How many men said yes, they were a coward?
Oh, I don't think very many men are going to admit that. So I think only about 12 men would say that they were
She says
cowards.
12. Higher or lower, Debbie?
I think the men's image these days are pretty macho. I'm going to say even lower than that.
Lower than that. The actual number of men who were brave enough to admit they were cowards is 29, not lower.
I'm going to
Still
keep
play
that base. I'm going to say it's going to be lower.
Lower than a king.
Yes.
It's a 6.
Oh, I think I will risk it and say that it'll be higher.
Higher than a 6. It's
All
a
right.
queen.
It's going to be lower.
Lower than a queen. It's a 3.
Higher.
The first game of the match, higher than a 3. Yes! Jackie leads 1-0. Okay, good comeback there. Janice will clear the board. We'll be right back with the challenger leading right after we take time out for this commercial break. Don't go away. That's all the time we have for today. Have yourself a good day and join us next time on Card Sharks. Bye-bye.
A representative of the studio audience will receive a beautifully made Irish bed cover, a shawl-type throw for your bed at night, and a fashionable cover by day furnished by Vittorio Originals. And some of our contestants will receive an assortment of exciting Maybelline eye, face, and nail cosmetics featuring new nail color. Protects and colors nails instantly furnished by Maybelline. And Cool Ray fashionable sunglasses that win admiring stares while protecting from annoying glare. 86 eye-catching styles. See what you're missing with Cool Ray polarized sunglasses. And Whammo. Turn off the heat and turn on slip and slide. 25 feet of cool, slippery, sliding water fun from Whammo. And the styling wand with a supply of Adorn hairspray. Adorn hairspray has a unique non-sticky formula. Lets hair feel touchable. Adorn holds your hair, but no one knows it's there. This is Gene Wood speaking for Card Sharks. A Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production.